Welcome back. And now we have with us Dr. Gihan Zahran. She's an education and innovation consultant. And as we earlier mentioned in our intro, we're going to be talking about upgrading and innovating and developing with the special education by the government to be able to meet the requirements and needs of people who are with special gifts or special needs, the people who have learning difficulties. Of course, this is a program that is supposed to be executed through this year, and it's going to effect a revolution when it comes to the empowerment and enforcement of people with special needs. Good morning, Ms. Zahran. I'm very fond of your program, by the way. I'm not supposed to reflect my own personal impression, but your initiative deserves respect and deserves concern and enforcement by the media and by all other sectors. First of all, I want you to shed light over the President Sisi's efforts to achieve notable educational development for people of determination or people who are gifted. We like to call them with special gifts and special needs. How do you assess the President's ongoing concern when it comes to enforcing and empowering not only youth, but on top of them, people with special needs?
Definitely. Thank you for giving me the chance actually to speak about that.
My
pleasure. This is the first time maybe I'm talking about this initiative in details. First of all, this all over the world, abroad, they call it specially gifted pupils, because the normal students or the gifted pupils that have an extra skills in something, we call it specially gifted pupils. But they are specially gifted. That's maybe that we have to focus on how to express them, because they are really special in a certain gift. What's going on in Egypt, actually, what I'm saying this year and maybe at the end of the previous year, lots of initiative progress happening since Egypt started, actually. We have more than, like, what we say, 19,000 schools for special education, and we have more than what we say, that's 500 and more educated teachers related to that, and 500,000 students, they are really in that schools. But we have millions in Egypt, they are especially gifted. Okay, I think most of our culture, not only in Egypt, it's also in the Arab countries, they don't have the awareness of how to deal and how to discover and how to know, especially with that kind of really specially gifted pupils. What we're doing right now is something really progressing. The President make a lot of things related to the, like resource room, related to the schools itself, related to lots of things which is give them the facility to have more normal and educated progressing. But we want to evaluate, we want to progressing that education. There is something in their education, there is two kinds of education that we call them, and there is such a kinds. Call them something we accommodation and modification. Accommodation is something like they are studying the same material as the normal one, but in a little bit to accommodate their disabilities. Like maybe having more presentations, having like special assignments, more explanations, repeating the lessons, but they are studying the same materials, the same curricula. This is, we call it accommodation. Something else called modification. Modification means that they are modifying, customizing the curricula to be simple, okay? But of course this is different because they're giving it, like giving less info, less skills. So when you tell me which is better, are we able just to give them the accommodation, or we are giving them the modification? Actually, we have different levels and different kinds of special gifted peoples. Okay,
There are different streams.
Completely different.
Right, but to start up with, because we're going to delve into those details with our, as soon as we get into the details of your initiative, but let's talk about President Sisi's special concern about those people. He has come a long way. He was just finished with a conference or a gathering or a forum that he especially dedicated to people who are different and capable also. And the title was even very impressive.
Completely, yeah.
How do you assess it?
It's a big step to the right way. You know, like we have a lot of, you know, like giving an eyes to them a lot. We're just keeping them as it
And
is.
sending
But
a message,
now we are sending the message in a different way.
to everybody that the highest rank of the state and the Egyptian administration is giving special concern and respect to that sector in society.
You couldn't believe how the parents are suffering, and now they are happy that they have initiative things related to their, you know, like problems. They're suffering. Most of them that, you know, it costs a lot. When you have a kid, one a day, was something that really, you don't know what to do. But now there is a lot of concerns about the initiative of the country itself. That's how to assess, like abroad. You know, abroad, like they call them program hope all the time. And we're going to talk about details how they are different.
You were talking about the different streams of difficulties.
Yeah.
Let us call it that way, difficulties. It's only difficulties that those people can overcome with their strong will. If you like to assess the different streams of difficulties for those kids.
Okay, first of all, difficulties, it's not coming from their side.
Right, but some people are diagnosed for complete, like if we talk about the Down syndrome, then we talk about the autism, we talk about dyslexia, ADHD, or even Asperger. Of course, Asperger is one of the probably not really popular diagnoses by people here in Egypt or worldwide. And they are perfectly normal. They just need a lot of training. That's
exactly. Let's classify them according to from the education perspective. Okay, when I have, you know, like some kind of kids, we are having different classification. First of all, we call them the inclusion. Inclusion, they are really attending, you know, like all classes, and they are mainly studying with the normal students. Okay, this is the inclusion, and we can see them in some of the schools. We have the mainstreaming, so they are mainstreaming students, meaning that they are attending special classes, not all the classes. And we have the exclusion, so they are completely excluded from schools. Okay, so in that case, they have special teachers that they are giving them like calming, like in a way that they are studying in a separate place, not in the school. And we have the co-teaching, like the shadowing, okay, that they are all the time with the students and also in special classes. So that's how we can, you know, like classify them in education. Sorry. Let's come to how are their students are really having, you know, like an improvement in their skills and an improvement in their education? Are they really getting the evaluation in the right way? Or we have like challenges that we have to take care of it. Challenges coming from lots of areas, starting from us, as we are in the culture all over, starting from the awareness, starting from how to deal. Normal people, by the way, when you access, when you just evaluate, and when you know how any special needs gifted succeed in his life, you will know that the normal students or the normal people who were the one who helped them, not the one in their level. So that's why let's come to the initiative that we call it, that how can we cooperate, how can we make the good awareness in all the areas, teachers, parents, community, in the streets, in the transportation, okay? So all of them, that they have to know exactly that he is specially gifted, and how can we deal with that? You know that the sunflower right now, it's a sign, globally sign, that when you see it as a sunflower, like a pad or something, like a necklace, or even in a band, so they know that he is special needs, and from far away you will know maybe he will just be a little bit slow in the row, maybe he will make an attitude that you don't understand. But this band or this sign nowadays and all over the world is that giving you the idea that take care of it, be patient, he is special needs. Okay, and this is
That's
some
a good
kind
idea.
of culture.
Some
that
gestures, small
yes,
gestures.
that we need to know, and we need to actually adopt it.
So your own assessment is that, first of all, we have to effect foundation.
Exactly.
Foundation, which means the first thing, first priority is awareness. Awareness to people in the community, and awareness to teachers firsthand. They have to be aware enough and well educated themselves and upgraded to be able to understand that those people are not mentally retarded, they're not behind, they come with special gifts. Some of them are accelerated, I mean, they're excellent in mathematics.
And we have
Some
this
of them are
initiative.
excellent in painting and drawing.
Exactly, and we have this initiative from the president himself, when he just like
Exactly.
develop the teachers and train them. Okay, like more than 500,000 teachers now, they are qualified to deal with that case. What we can say else in the awareness. The awareness, you just give the key to everything, by the way, by this word.
This was going to be my second question to you, which is that the president himself in the forum have directed for setting awareness amongst community, amongst people, amongst teachers and educational institutions, to be able first, before developing or before setting awareness amongst those people, to develop with the teachers themselves.
Do you know that the teachers sometimes they have a lot, like we have different teachers. Teachers that they feel like they are giving a lot of efforts and they are not appreciated. And teachers that they think that the judge, okay, with non-awareness background, medical, for some students that they never know about it. And I saw that by myself. By the way, it's not only teachers, they are the heads, the principals. They just evaluate some kind of behavior, and they are giving the parents, come on, your kid doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and they don't know the background of the case. Okay, so if they know the background of the case, they will never give the parent all the time to tell them and complaining about the kid. So they have to know, they have to understand, and this is the awareness that we talk about, because no one of them will be in a different level without us, okay, without the normal.
Exactly. I want you to tell me what is the impact or the damage that is going to be set over that student when a teacher is judgmental with ignorance and unawareness, lack of awareness over that particular child, when he is not developing the way he should be amongst his counterparts, or he is behaving in a different way. They don't have enough time to be able to understand why he is behaving like that. How is that going to affect him negatively and have a damage over his character when he grows up?
Maybe some of the parents, they know what I'm talking about because they are in the case, but I will give to the majority that the normal student, if something like that happened to him, imagine that you are normal and you don't know exactly what to do, and you have a teacher that does not understand your way and he's judging you, and you're doing your best. This is what I have been told.
How is that going to affect them?
It will affect negatively, of course, okay, or positively if they are going
And it's
in the
going
right
to distract every ability and every innovation and inspiration inside his character, even if he has some.
You
Even if he
measure
has
it. You
IQ.
measure it with the normal students. So I'm normal now, and I'm giving a lot of things and effort to do whatever I can. I'm doing my best, and you're coming and judge me, or you give me something which is not related to my skill. Okay, you're not improving my skill. You just push me to do something which is I cannot do, but I can do it in a different way. I can do something else. I can be amazing in some other skills. I can behave in completely 180% different. But so that's the awareness, and that's actually what they are studying in the Faculty of Education, in psychologists, for how to deal with the students in different levels, how to know the background, how to be a teaching techniques. That's the normal. So what about the specially gifted pupils? Okay, so we have to know a lots of things and background and knowledge and exchange knowledge to know exactly what to do.
What type of training is supposed to be given to teachers, I mean, in that particular initiative? And according to directives of the head of state, he is personally keen on developing with that particular side. So he directed for specific training to teachers to be able to upgrade the educational process, especially when it comes to people with special gifts.
I'll tell you, there is some kind different trainings actually. So the training, not the material itself, and this is another training. We have curricula. Let's talk about the curricula itself. We have two kinds, as I said, the accommodation and the modification. So both of them needs a little bit to simplify the lesson and to deliver it in a different way, okay? To be known the info which inside the subject itself. Okay, so we have training according to academic training. How can we do that in so many different ways to deliver the information in different way? So that's technically. Let's talk about psychologically. Psychologically, we have to know the difference of them. How can we classify them? How can we get the hint of maybe there's something and indicate that there is something, we have to take care of it. We have to know, we have to evaluate in a different way. So that's awareness. So medically, we have to know exactly the differences between them and which one, how can we adapt to that. The last thing, or the third one, technologically, how can we adopt that? And that's the most modernization that we are doing right now. We are coming to technology in education, so how can we adopt this to improve the education in that kind of specially gifted pupils? So there's three kinds of training they have to do it. And that's maybe will lead the thing. The awareness with all of these three training should be applied everywhere, okay? And really what I'm suggesting in that, just to be like a small, simple material to be done in the school, in K to 12 school. Just a lot of, like a subject was like a booklet for how to deal with them. Because we are the one who want to know exactly how to deal, because they're suffering coming from our side, not from their side.
Of course.
So we have to get the awareness. We have to get the awareness from the school, with the normal. Such a kind of subject, chapter, something that already students have to know it in a conscious way. I will tell you, of course, as you said and mentioned, that most of the specially gifted pupils, they have special gift skills. I have one of them. I know one of them that's, like practicing with me riding horses. And he is really, like, what do we say, a computer in history. Just give them a certain age, and he will tell you in a certain year what happened in that details, with names, with actions.
How old is he?
He's like 18. Okay, and he give you everything. So he's a special gifted in that skill. Imagine that we are normal and we don't have that skill like him. So giving the anxiously to the normal students to know exactly what this gift, to learn from him, to get the hope from him.
Exactly. Just like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, who grabbed many Oscars.
And this is what they
And
call
it
it
was a real
abroad.
story.
Yeah, well, they call it abroad program hope, by the way. They call it program hope. And this is well known abroad in the States, without mentioning what they are doing. But really, it's amazing program, and they have a lot of progressing for communicating with the normal and special needs together, and how they can share, okay, the skills, share the info, share the experience. All right. So this is actually the main issue of my initiative, sharing. Okay.
Sharing, right.
Sharing the knowledge, sharing the experience, but with anxiety, with passion. Maybe I will tell you just to share with the specially gifted pupils, and you will say, okay, because you're a kind-hearted person and you need to help. We need to change that concept. We need to change, it's not a kind of help. You're not helping, he's getting the help. You are getting the help from inside. Okay, because you really get something which is really spiritually different. It's changing really your passion, your attitude, your character when you help them. Believe me, this is really happening. And not only the passion that having them by words, now it should be something that I have to touch it. Okay, and this may be an initiative that how can we attract the students in normal to be sharing the knowledge and sharing the skills with the special gifted pupils.
Maybe we need another episode so that you can tell us more about this very
Why not?
important,
It needs a lot of
very
details,
promising
actually.
initiative. We really would like to thank you for giving us that hopeful gesture in our first segment. Dr. Gihan Zahran, Educational Development Technology Consultant, would like to thank you so much.
Thanks
and
a lot,
all the
dear.
best to you.
We'll mess you, then next time, inshallah, we'll call about IDMAJ in details.
Okay.
That's the name of the initiative.
Integration. So we're going to end up with this segment, and we're going to move on to the second segment, but right after this short break, so stay with us.